What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, we're starting to see an absolute ton of bullish signals from Solana, not only just today, but over the last couple of days that I do want to share with you. And so with that in mind, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. And guys, don't forget, if you do want to get access to some free Solana, what you can do is sign up and start trading on CoinW today. This is a fantastic platform where you can trade things like Bitcoin, Solana, SWI, and many more on all the way up to 100x leverage. And if you do sign up and start trading specifically with my link today, you can win all the way up to 55 Solana. So if that's you and you want to capitalize on that, I will leave the link down below. Again, you only have 18 days left to capitalize on up to 55 Solana, so check that out down below. Now, what we're going to be doing today is I'm really going to be laying out for you a bunch of the different bullish signals that we are seeing, not only from a technical perspective, but also from a fundamental and news perspective as well. We are seeing bullish signals flashing on all three accords, and I want to tell you exactly what they are, what I think they mean for Solana, and more. Now, in order for you to understand why these signals are so bullish, let me give you a quick recap of what has been going on so I can start to paint the picture pretty clear for you. So over the last few weeks, what we've been tracking for Solana has been this descending channel. I've told you all I'm very bullish about this. I think this is a very good thing for Solana. It's a healthy reset, a healthy correction, and I'm under the belief that one of these $3 cost average zones are going to end up pushing Solana's price upwards and try to push it up towards $300 to $350. The primary reason that we believe that is quite simply just because Solana's price broke a macro range, right? We had this support and resistance over and over again, creating this range that we were in for the majority of the year, and Solana broke above it. And so once you break above a key level of resistance like that, it's very common to come back down towards that resistance, try to flip that resistance into support, and use that support to continue upwards. And whenever it's such a major point of resistance like this, yes, seeing some sort of macro RS flip is common. And so this pullback didn't catch us off guard. Matter of fact, we had these DCA zones laid out as Solana was hitting its all-time high, and now we're in a good spot to where we've been preparing for it and doing some buying in it. Now, the primary thing that we have been focusing on as Solana's price has been pulling back a bit has been this descending channel. I've quite simply told you, look, this is my strategy. Descending channels break to the upside 85% of the time. So I'm going to make a bet that that's what's going to happen here. Every time Solana hits the bottom 25% of this channel, I'm going to just do a little bit of buying. Whenever it hits the gray box, which is the 25 to 50% threshold, I might do some tiny purchases and bigger purchases in that green box. But simply just buying when it's in the bottom half and waiting my time out for it to eventually break upwards. Obviously, sure, there is a 15% chance that Solana breaks to the downside. I'm just not very sold on that happening, especially not with the signals that we are seeing today. And so our primary focus recently has been just, of course, just paying attention to how Solana's price has been interacting with this channel and what we're seeing within this channel. Now, what we're going to talk about a little bit more today is what we're seeing right here over the last couple of days, because not only from a technical but fundamental perspective, things are actually starting to look very good for Solana's price. And so, of course, now that you do have a quick recap of what we're looking at and what we're expecting, let's take a little bit more of a shift in gears and let's go over what we're seeing now. Now, I will warn you, some of the things that we're about to go over in the video might get a little bit confusing, especially for those of you who are maybe beginners and you're trying to figure this whole crypto thing out, or if you're advanced and you're just trying to add more tools to your toolbox. And so if you do get confused, or just quite simply, if you're someone who wants to just get better at this whole crypto thing, all that I ask specifically from you is to just stick around at the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Discord server. We had some huge news recently, but we're doing live streams, workshops, classes, and more, and it's generating our community hundreds of percentages and gains every single day. So if you want to be somebody, again, who just kind of takes their game to the next level and starts using these lessons to turn them into strategies, turn those strategies into profit, all that I ask from you again is just to stick around at the very end of the video. Now, before we talk more about what's happening with the price, what I actually figured I wanted to do was take a quick look at a piece of news that we're seeing and some fundamentals that we're seeing from Solana's ecosystem that I think are going to be very important and a part of the reason as to why Solana's price is holding up well and giving us these bullish signals. And I would like to add in some more of this like news perspective and fundamental perspective into these videos every now and then, but I'll only do it if you guys want me to. So let me know. I think looking at the news and looking at the fundamentals shapes my general thesis of the market every single day. So I think it is important and I would like to share it with you. But again, I want to hear from you because it may make these videos a little bit longer and I want to give you the value that you're looking for. But what we're going to do today is take a quick look at this piece of news that just released because I do think it's important. And then I'll kind of go over to DeFi Llama and show you what's happening with Solana as a blockchain because they're both going to contribute to the general picture that I'm trying to paint today with Solana's price. Now, what we're going to see here from this news is that Solana gains the top spot in daily net inflows with $12 million, beating all other blockchains. Now, recently we've been seeing Solana in extreme competition with Arbitrum and SWI, but Solana came out swinging yesterday and absolutely beat both of them with that $12 million inflow day, clearing something like Arb, which did less than half of that. Now, this is a very good signal, and the reason why this is a good sign in itself, why this news is a good sign, is because what we are seeing from Solana as an ecosystem. What you all know is that I really like the TVL tool. The TVL is something that you can use to track the overall size of Solana's ecosystem. It's over on DeFi Llama. And I think this is important because, quite frankly, layer 1 cryptos like Solana extract their value from the size, the growth, and the volume of their ecosystems. If their blockchain is doing well, they're worth more, their price goes up. If it's not doing well, they're worth less, their price goes down. That's just normally what happens. So getting an idea of what is going on with their ecosystem is a very good idea. Now, this blue line represents what's called TVL, and TVL is simply just total value locked. It can allow you to see the overall size and growth of the ecosystem of Solana. You can see things like, of course, Jupiter, Radium, and many more, and how they're growing in comparison, of course, to just growing Solana as a whole. Now, something very interesting has been happening this year. Of course, what you can see is that Solana's ecosystem has been absolutely flourishing, and that's no surprise to you, I'm sure, because Solana, you've seen all the meme coins and all the new projects on Solana. But interestingly enough, the ecosystem is now nearly just as big as it was at the peak of the bull market in 2021. Now, this has been fantastic and all, and this is rather expected because, of course, Solana's price and its TVL do typically correlate. And for example, if I do get its sold price put up here, which is now the gold line, you can see that's the case. When Solana's price is doing well, its ecosystem is typically doing well. When Solana's price is going down, its ecosystem is typically going down, or vice versa. I do believe that they're somewhat interdependent. But what we can see is something different happening over the last few days. What you can see is that over the last few, about a week and a half or so, as Solana's price, or I guess 2 weeks, as its price has been going downwards within this descending channel, we've actually been seeing Solana's TVL casually increasing, setting higher highs and higher lows. Now, what this means is that Solana's ecosystem as a whole is growing in a period in time in which its price is falling. Now, the only explanation that you can really have for this is that something big launched, which that didn't really happen, or people are just gaining more confidence in Solana. In periods like this in which the market is pulling back and people are getting more stressed out, they're actually not leaving Solana like they normally would. When Solana was much less reliable and people didn't really trust it all too much, in moments like this where the market pulled back, they all got out of Solana immediately, and the Solana ecosystem, pulling the TVL back and pulling Solana's price back. But over the last few weeks, that's not what we've been seeing. And that tells me that people are becoming more confident and becoming more sure that Solana's price, or Solana in general, will be able to last through moments like this and show them gains into the future, which is a very, very good thing. Solana has a huge problem with people being paper hands, short-term holders, and just cheating out of meme coins and new microcaps and whatever. And so the fact that we're actually seeing some diamond hands, not only for Solana, but in its ecosystem as well, during a period in which the market's not performing the best, the altcoin market's not performing the best, I think that's a huge sign. I think that's a huge signal. Now, while we are seeing that happen, we're also seeing some bullish signals printing on Solana's price as well. And so shifting back into the actual price itself, what you can see is that we've gotten a couple major signals, but it's more from a structural perspective that I want to share with you today. Now, the sign and signal that I'm talking about from the last few days has been Solana's interactions with the 75 and 50% thresholds of the descending channel. As you all know, you can break descending channels down into 4 different quarters, okay? Let's see. We have this one, and this one. So in a descending channel, you're going to have the 100% to 75% threshold, which is this one. You're then going to have the 75% to 50% threshold, which is this one. 50% to 25%, which is this one. And then, of course, 25% to 0%, which is this one. Now, each one of these 25% thresholds is a resistance and support level. When you're on top of it, it'll be support. When you're below it, it'll be resistance. But what we can see is that Solana's price has been interacting with them extremely positively. And the bulls have been stepping in at these key levels exactly as you would hope they would. What you can see is that as Solana's price did get this beautiful pump towards the upside from December 12th to December 13th, we actually started to see its price pull back a bit off that 75% threshold. Now, generally in moments like this, things would get rather ugly, right? I mean, you look back right here, you get rejected, you kind of just start falling back towards the downside, and things get ugly, just like we saw back there, just like we saw back here. But that's not what we're seeing right now. What we're seeing right now is that as Solana's price did get rejected and it does start getting pulled back towards the downside, as soon as we hit this 50% threshold, the bulls were willing to step in. Now, does this mean that they'll keep stepping in and we can't keep going lower? No, but that's not the point. The whole point is simply that we're seeing the bulls stepping in at very important support levels, which is generally a good sign that the momentum that we're seeing building from an ecosystemic perspective, a fundamental perspective, is starting to be applied to the technicals. And oftentimes that can be some some early signals that some sort of breakout could be on the way. Because remember, descending channels break to the upside 85% of the time during a bull market. So that means it's realistically not a matter of if we're going to break out to the upside, but more of a matter of when we're going to break out to the upside. And getting signals like this, that the bulls are willing to step in at this 50% threshold, which is something they haven't been doing for the last couple moves, is a very good sign that that breakout to the upside could be coming more sooner than many people may realize. Now, another cool thing that I am noticing is that as its price is backtesting that key level and the bulls are stepping in when we need them to, we are also seeing its own descending channel forming from a micro perspective. You see how we had this pump and then this little descending micro channel? That's a very good sign, because although it may force us downwards and we may go down for a little while, this is a bullish structure. And so the fact that we're seeing a tiny bullish structure forming in a bigger bullish structure and the bull stepping in at these key levels of support means, again, that all of these things that we're seeing from an ecosystemic perspective could definitely now be trickling their way into Solana's price, giving us a possible breakout towards the upside sometime soon. Now, don't get me wrong. History says that when you get rejected off these levels, you go back towards that green box. So I still have it on my mind that we might very well come back towards $200. So I'm not saying it's just immediately going to go up, but the picture here is that we could be getting to the better, the better position, the better portion of this descending channel, and getting much, much, much closer to that breakout that we're looking for. And so overall, I think all these things are bullish from a news perspective, a fundamental perspective, and from a price perspective. And I wanted to share, of course, that with you today. And so with that in mind, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. How do you feel about the fact that, Solana's coming in and smashing the other altcoins with $12 million worth of inflows yesterday at the same time that its ecosystem is thriving and growing in comparison to the price, while the price does start giving us some bullish signals? Is this adding to your bullish conviction? What do you think is going to happen next and more? And don't forget to let me know if you like whenever we talk a little bit more about the news and about the fundamentals in these here videos. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you're somebody who is simply just trying to elevate in this whole world of crypto, whether you're a beginner or you're advanced, just someone simply trying to get better at all this stuff, what I want you to do is check out my crypto vault. Now, the Tyler Hill Crypto Vault is a platform that I've created. It's more of an educational platform that people are learning at rates that I have never seen before in my entire life, quite frankly. We're offering so many different things, and I'll go through them here with you. I mean, we have Insights with Tyler, which are my thoughts and insights and just some of the things that I'm buying and selling, taking profits, just stuff like that, my own personal feed. We have daily live shows with some different coaches like Crypto Moses, Kate O'Neill, Frank Stork, and many more. We have daily technical analysis on all the cryptos that we talk about here on the channel. We have a fundamental analysis report that goes out on the general market itself, talking about what's actually happening behind the scenes. I've hired a team of professional traders that give their buy and sell signals from Monday to Friday, and you can see, 63% gain, 34% gain, 132% gain. And you got to remember, these are people who rely on their trading to eat, rely on their trading to live, for their business to keep going. And so, of course, learning from them is great. To be able to get their buy and sell signals is a very good thing in my opinion. We have premium classes on things like the Fibonacci, 5 keys to bull market investing, the Bollinger Bands, a beginner's guide to XRP, the power of on-chain analysis with myself and many other different coaches. We have tips with Tyler. These are 2 to 4 minute long videos on just random things that you guys ask me about, and I do intend on making one of these a day going forward. So there's going to be a bunch of content going in there for you. We have beginners courses for those of you who are a little bit newer. These are 30-minute videos, 20-page presentations with cheat sheets and vocabulary sheets, going over things like technical analysis, going over things like leverage trading. I have 3 or 4 more of these releasing over the next coming weeks, so feel free to definitely want to check that out. And all of these things combined, all of these things are cultivating a community, again, that are generating insane gains. What I'll do is just scroll through. Mind you, this is just from yesterday, and I can scroll through, and just since yesterday, you can see the sheer amount of gains that are being printed here. We saw, if I remember correctly, yes, a 9,000% gain from Crypto Crazy, from the Crypto Roundtable, the weekly Crypto Roundtable. Absolutely insane stuff going on here. So if you want to join this community, what you're going to need to do is check out the Patreon link down below, guys. It is the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper. $17 a month and less gets you access to basically everything that I just showed you. We do have a new tier releasing today, but I'll talk to you about that in a future video. I just want you to go ahead and check this out. For the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper, I think that's very good value. And so with that in mind, I wanted to just tell you about that. And don't forget, listen, we post 4, 5, 6 videos here on the channel every single day. So if you have been enjoying them, if you have been finding them valuable, all I ask is you just smash that like button so more people see it, and subscribe if you enjoyed it yourself. But with that in mind, of course, I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.